Yakuza 0 made me a believer in this series. I am now a fan of Yakuza. Every now and then I play a game and it introduces me to a new series. I've been playing this game on and off for the past couple of months. I started it back in April or sometime before that, maybe February, I'm not sure. And I stopped playing after the first 2 chapters, not because it was bad, but because I was focusing on work and upcoming semesters and just focusing on life and things like that. I haven't really had that much time for video games. That's why I've been recording videos ahead of time, especially for the Fallout 20th anniversary celebration. And recently I got back into playing Yakuza 0. I'm on chapter 7 and all I have to say so far is wow. I really love this game. Yakuza 0 is a prequel. The series has been around for over 10 years, I think. The first game came out on the PS2. I have to admit, when I first saw this game, I thought I wasn't going to get it. I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is just a Japanese game, some weeb shit. I don't give a fuck about Japanese stuff. I'm not a fan of JRPGs, even though I've been trying to get into them recently, just to go out of my comfort zone, but I'm not gonna play this shit. But one of my friends who is a fan of Yakuza, he's actually played some of the games on PS2, told me to try it out, rent it or get it used or buy it. So I don't really know what convinced me to get it. I guess I needed a new game to play, so I said fuck it. I don't got that many games on the PS4. It's a different type of game and I'm gonna go out of my comfort zone. I bought it, I played the first 2 chapters, and I instantly loved it. And the reason why I put it on the shelf for a bit was not because it was a bad game, but I was busy with other stuff. But 2 weeks ago, I decided to pop it back in and start playing it. And I've been having a blast ever since. This game is fucking awesome. Yakuza 0 is a prequel, so I picked the right time to get into the series. It takes place in the late 80s in certain areas of Japan. I don't know how to pronounce the name, so I'm not going to. The story is about 2 people, Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima. Kiryu was a member of the Yakuza, and I'm not going to spoil much. I'm just going to give you minor spoilers, so you have been warned. Kiryu was a part of the Yakuza, but something happened and he got kicked out of his clan. He was also framed for a murder he didn't commit, and there's also something going on with an empty lot that everyone is trying to buy. It's really important, even though it may not seem like it because it's a small lot. But it's very important, so he has to clear his name and deal with a whole bunch of other stuff. And Majima is a Yakuza member that has to pay a huge debt to his clan. So these 2 people, they have a lot of things going on. One of the things that I immediately noticed about Yakuza 0 is the presentation. The presentation is fantastic. The cutscenes, they're excellent. The voice acting is great, and I really like the way they tell the story. You really get to see Kiryu and Majima's life. They go really in depth, not only with the main characters in the story, but the side characters, their friends, the random people you see on the streets. They really go into detail with the conversations and the way the characters interact with each other. And I've been really invested in finding out more about these 2 characters, what's going to happen to them in the upcoming chapters. This game is a mystery drama / crime / thriller action adventure game. You run around and you do main quests to see what goes on in the main story, but you also have random encounters where you'll fight people, and the fighting in this game is very satisfying. You beat the shit out of people, and you upgrade your ability so you'll become better in these fighting styles. You invest in them. You go to stores, you can buy items so you can recover health or your heat meter, and you can buy equipment to make certain stats better. The fighting in this game is satisfying. For example, Goro Majima, he has like a breakdancing style that reminds me of capoeira, and he is breakdancing, b-boying, whatever the hell you want to call it, just flipping around and fucking people up. He also has a style where he just wields a bat and he's just swinging on people like he's Sammy Sosa, just knocking their heads off. You can do these special attacks if you have enough heat, and you just fuck people up. The fighting in this game is really satisfying. This is different from other games like Just Cause or GTA. Guns are not your primary weapons in this game. They're very rare. Your enemies might have them every now and then, but you don't see too much of them. And I think that reflects how Japanese society is. I think they have strict gun control. But your primary weapons are your fists, your legs, your feet, and whatever you can pick up, like motorcycles or bikes, and you're just running around and fucking people up. I mean, the combat in this game, I have to say it again, is really satisfying. I find myself running around just trying to run into some random hooligans or Yakuza members so I can just fuck them up. You're doing special attacks where you literally can take a bat and whack the shit out of somebody. You're stomping on people's heads. You're throwing them up against the wall. You're swinging bikes at them and other stuff like that. On one hand, you can pick up motorcycles and fucking slam them on people's heads. You're swinging bats at people, knocking their heads off. It's crazy, but this game is also very down to earth. And I'm talking about the sub-stories. Sub-stories, you can consider them side quests. When you run around the city, you'll run into random people and you'll deal with their problems. For example, you'll run into a little girl that's obsessed with this arcade because there are little dolls inside this machine and you have to go get them, and you find out why she's obsessed. And there's different parts to this story. You can also run into a person that their family member is stuck inside a cult and you have to help get them out. The sub-stories in this game help the city feel alive. It's not just a barren wasteland where you can't go inside any buildings or you can see people but you can't interact with them. No, you can interact with these people, and not only that, you get a glimpse into their lives, their problems, and you can choose to involve yourself in their issues or not. And there are humble, simple, down-to-earth sub-stories mixed in with the more extravagant ones. I think there's a nice variety. It was a good decision to mix in all these type of sub-stories. You really get a feel for the different type of people in this area, whether they're normal people with normal problems or eccentric people with fucking crazy problems that you wouldn't think they have. The city is alive, and that's a problem that a lot of open world games have, or semi-open world games. The area that you're in, it feels barren, it feels empty, but Yakuza 0 does not have this problem. When you're traveling around in this neon paradise, it feels alive. It feels like you're actually in this fucking city. What also helps make the city feel alive is the amount of activities you can do. You can play pool, you can go bowling, you can hit baseballs, you can sing karaoke to some really groovy songs. I have to say, I'm not familiar with any of the artists, but they were pretty cool, and the things that go on in the background when you're doing a karaoke sometimes is pretty funny. You can play classic Sega games like Space Harrier in the arcade. There are different ways to make yen in this game, including one unique one where you bet yen and you see girls fight each other. So hey, if you're down for that, you want to watch catfights, have fun. This game also has a different, unique type of humor. For example, when you're running around the area, at certain points, you'll run into this guy called Mr. Shakedown. This happens at random times. This is a big motherfucker. Mr. Shakedown is a guy that reminds me of Brock Lesnar. He looks like a bodybuilder. And if he catches you, you have to fight him. But if you lose that fight, you lose all your yen, you lose all your currency. And he keeps it, but if you beat him, you get a lot of money. Another guy I ran into was this weird pervert. He's obsessed with sex. He's half naked. He's a skinny guy and he looks like he's wearing one of those things that sumo wrestlers wear. And he just brags about him being a sex god. Apparently he can fuck a lot and he has a lot of stamina. But that's the type of people that you can run into in this game. You also run into a lot of down-to-earth, regular people and you can help them out with their problems. But you run into some fucking weirdos and it's absolutely hilarious. I've been rambling on about this game for a while. In the future, I do want to review this game and other games in the series too. This series has been around for a while. There's a lot of games. I think 6 or 7 of them. I do want to review them all at some point, but that's just wishful thinking. I have a lot on my plate right now. But in the meantime, I wanted to give you this video. Yakuza 0 made me a believer in the series. If you have a PS4, if you're interested in these type of games, check it out. I will beat this game, and I will definitely be playing Yakuza Kiwami at the end of the month. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to, leave a comment. If you know anything about the series, let me know. I'm new to this series. If you want to message me on Twitter, you know where to find me. You know how to get into contact with me. Have a great day.